Hello everyone, in this video we're going to talk about rates and unit rates. So let's define those two terms. First of all, a rate is just a ratio of two quantities using different rates. So we could say, for example, A units to B units. We're just comparing those two. A unit rate, though, compares a quantity to 1 unit of another quantity. So that's a little bit more specific there. So this would be like A over B units to 1 unit, okay? And then equivalent rates are just those that have the same unit rate. Okay, so let's look at one scenario here where we're actually going to answer two questions. It says there is 1/4 gram of fat for every 1/2 tablespoon of chocolate in some kind of recipe or maybe just in the chocolate itself. So how many grams of fat are there for every tablespoon of chocolate? That's question number one. And then question number two is how many tablespoons of chocolate are there for every gram of fat? So it's kind of like, one way, then we're going to do it the other way. So we're going to remember this unit rate comparison here. So basically we can say that for our question that's written in white, it says how many grams of fat are there for every tablespoon of chocolate. So fat would be like A, tablespoon of chocolate, or tablespoon would be B. So I'm going to take 1/4 of my gram of fat, I'm going to divide it by 1/2 of my tablespoon for my chocolate. Okay, so now when we do this, we would do 1/4 times 2 over 1. Notice how I went from division to multiplication. That's how we multiply fractions. So I kept 1/4, I flipped 1/2 to be 2 over 1, and we changed from division to multiplication. So now this is going to give me 2 over 4, which is equal to 1/2. Okay? So now we can say that 1/2 would be our answer here, and we can write that as a statement. So how many grams of fat are there for every tablespoon of chocolate? So there would be, or we could say there are 1/2 grams, so 1/2 of a gram, I guess, would be better. There is, I guess, would be there is instead of there are. There is 1/2 gram of fat in 1 tablespoon of chocolate. Okay? All right, now let's circle that. Let's change our color to yellow here, and let's answer the second question. So now it says how many tablespoons of chocolate are there for every gram of fat? So now chocolate is A and fat is B, or tablespoon is A and fat is B. So now we're going to divide tablespoon, which is 1/2, divided by my fat, which is 1/4. So now we're going to do 1/2 times 4 over 1, because that would be 1/2 divided by 1/4. So 1/4 becomes 4, and we change from division to multiplication. So now we get this is 4 over 2, which is equal to 2. So now we can say there are 2 tablespoons of chocolate in 1, or let's say for every 1 gram of fat. For every 1 gram of fat. Okay, and that's how we could word that. All right, so that's a little bit about rates and unit rates and how we can use unit rate to solve some problems.